Last episode, I showed you what Claude is, what it's not, how to sign up for it, and how to send your first message, specifically using the right prompt. If you haven't watched that video, I suggest that you go back and start there. Today, we're going to dive one level deep. And because right now, every time you open a chat, you would have to start from the beginning. You have to re-explain yourself, talk about the projects that you're working on every single time. Start from square one every time you start a new chat. We're going to put a stop to that today. I'm going to show you what a project is, how to build it, and how you can manage it to make your life a lot easier. If you're ready, let's get into it. If you remember from our last video, we have to sign up for Claude. Hopefully you already downloaded Google Chrome. It's just so much easier and smoother, and it's going to build up from what we're working on in this video series. So let's show you how to log in into your Claude from here. So as you can see, I'm on Google. So I'm just going to type Claude AI, login. And you should see a little sign like that. That's how you go about signing in. All right. I'm already logged in, so it's greeting me. All right. Your screen should look something like this. Plain. This is where most of us go into creating a chat. We start asking or requesting certain information. Maybe you want something to work on, but every time you do that, you will have to start from square one. That is just not something that I want you to do. I want you to put a stop into that. So I build a deck slide that we're gonna navigate through to help us go along easy and smoothly so we don't lose track of where we are. So here it is. So let's start off with what a project is, where it's located, and how to build it. So on the left side of the Claude, you'll see that there is a bar, and we'll open it up right now and show you how to get to projects. That's where you want to begin. So let's go there. Again, on this left side right here of Claude, you'll see the sidebar. We're going to open that. If you see, you'll see a bunch of different things. And if you have already been using the chat mode, you probably have a gazillion chats, and that can be a little bit overwhelming because you're gonna have to search for every chat, where you left off, what you were working on. It can be a little bit more chaotic than you would want it to be. What you want to do is right here you see Claude, and under that you'll see new chat, chats, projects, artifacts, and customize. We're going to focus again in this video on projects, so go ahead and click on there. Once you're there, you will probably see just the top part of this page right here. We're going to make things a little bit visually pleasant. We're going to go ahead and close the sidebar, and you won't see anything. These are my projects. Once you start building your projects, you'll see something like that for yourself. For you, I want you to click on New Project. That's going to give you the window to create your new project. Once you're there, you're going to create your own project. You're going to name it, and you're going to give it instructions as far as what is that you want to build in that project. Let's put a pin on that, and let's go back to our deck slide. So, for the purposes of demonstration, we're going to show you a mock project that I actually use on a day-to-day basis, but I'm going to show you how I build it. So it always starts with a name. Make sure you give it the right name for the right project. Super important. So for now, we're going to call it Weekly Content Planner. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. We're going to right-click, copy, and we're going to paste it onto our project name. It's really important that you name your project exactly what its purpose is. And the reason is just to know exactly how to navigate it for yourself so that you don't have to guess which project. Again, you can have multiple projects, and kind of like the chats, you can get a little bit lost. So make sure you name the project accordingly to what you want and what the purpose is for that specific project. Meaning, what are you trying to achieve with creating this project. So for our purposes here, I want this project to help me create a plan and organize my content on a weekly basis. So you can go as in-depth in instructions as you want to, or as simple as you want to. It really depends on the project and what you're trying to build here. So that's the first thing that I definitely want to make sure that you keep in mind. Two is it's the purpose of your project. Then we're going to go ahead and create the project. So click on that create project button. All right, and that's it. We created the project. And you might be asking, Ernest, fantastic, we created the project, couple of buttons, no big deal. Okay, well, this is what separates projects from normal chats, and we'll show you that in just a little bit. So, on the right side of the screen, you will see a couple of things. Let's start from the top and work ourselves towards the bottom. You see this inner box right here. This is the chat box. It's very similar to the box that you see are accustomed to on the other page. Let's show you that so you have a visual. I'm gonna go again to Claude. Right? This is what we started off with. This is a regular chat box. Okay? It looks very similar here as well. However, notice that here, this chat box is specifically for my weekly content planner, and that alone. It does not deviate from that. It keeps the chat with regards to the name and instructions for this particular project. Notice that this general chat box is in the sense of the word general. It does not have any instructions. You can talk about anything you want in the world. That's the biggest difference between the project and the chat. On here, you'll have what is memories. You won't have access to that because we just created the project. There is no memories. So essentially memories, what it does here is that as you continue to interact with this project, you will start building memories of what the project. So it will never get lost. It will always refer back to the memories, things that you guys talked about in the past. Maybe remind you of something. It will be all within the memory box. Underneath that, you'll see instructions. This is really important. This is where you give specific instructions to your project or Claude AI about how to navigate this project with you. This is where it becomes the truest of assistant or partner when it comes to creating your project and building a route to achieving said goal that you may have with this project. So let's give it some instructions. Here we have I created some custom instructions for the chat, so you have some sort of understanding of what that may look like for you. It's going to be very niche to what project you're building. So since we're working on building a weekly planning, is going to be in congruency with that. So let's go ahead and paste this and we'll go over exactly what the instructions are. I'm going to right click it, click copy, and I'm going to click this little cross to add the instructions. You will be putting all the instructions here, and they don't have to be permanent. You are welcome to always go back to the instructions and edit them. That's something that most people tend to forget. They think that once you give it instructions, you cannot change them. Not at all. You can go ahead and customize your instructions as you continue to evolve through your project. Maybe something is no longer needed. Maybe something needs to be added. Something may be needed to be omit. Then do that. That is completely okay. So let's read over the instructions that I gave Claude for this particular weekly content planner project. All right. You are my content planning assistant. About me. I create educational content about AI for beginners. I post one long form video a week, then cut it into short clips for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. How can you help me? Keep my ideas simple and beginner friendly. One idea per video. Never multitask. When I give you a topic, suggest a hook, an outline, and 3 short clip ideas. Be direct, no fluff. Why are instructions so important? Let's dive just a little bit about that. Say that you are a CEO of a company, maybe you're a manager, maybe you have a personal assistant already, a human personal assistant, and by some means, or maybe someone in your family, maybe you're just driving around or you just want a cup of coffee. This is the most simplest of examples that I can give you. And you ask someone to get you some Starbucks, and they are with question marks. They don't know exactly what you mean by that. They're like, I can get you some Starbucks, but I need a little bit more instructions. I need more detail on what is that you want. Do you want a tall grande venti? Do you want a hot drink, a cold drink? Do you want, an espresso, frappuccino? What is that you want? You have to be very specific about what you want, just like you would give instructions to a specific individual or a barista or in a restaurant about what is that you want. And the more detailed you are, the better outcomes you will get along the way. So if you can keep that frame of mind as far as how to give appropriate instructions, you will see a tremendous change in what the AI can do for you. In later videos, we're going to dive in onto how to create appropriate prompts. We're going to call that prompt creation, so you can kind of have a guideline of how to navigate prompting without you getting lost. And if you have a hard time creating prompts, trust me, by the end of the series, you will be really good at it. So those are the instructions. We're going to save them. So at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see this button says Save Instructions. We're going to go ahead and click that. All right, saving the instructions into its memory. And now we have it there. That's the second of the 3 pillars for the project. Let's go over the first 2, memories, which are gonna become available as time goes on. Right now we have nothing, so we just kind of have to continue to build up on this project. Instructions, again, the more detailed you are about what your goals are, what your target is, and how to navigate that, the better it is. And the third, and one of the most powerful things about projects is files. You can literally drop any file that is conducive to your project that will give it the specific amounts of information that is needed to create anything within the project. We're talking about outlines. If you want something in a specific way, like a skeletal, structure, as far as how you want, say, a diagram, a PowerPoint slide, or how you want it to sound, or how it should verbalize things, the tone and things, that all can be placed in under files. So I don't necessarily have a file that I can show you, but I did a mock one, and I'm gonna show you what that is. So to add any file, and then I'll show you another really powerful thing about this project part. If you have one on your computer, you just click Add Files by clicking this plus button here. We're gonna go ahead and upload from device. Now it's gonna give me options, and I have one here. This is the content pillar, and it's very simple, nothing really to go into depth, but we're gonna go ahead and add that. And now we have a file within our project that it can go back to and take information from or instructions from. So that's really important that we have that. I don't know if you noticed, but we're gonna backtrack a little bit. When I click the plus button here, we can actually make connections with our Claude. And we can start connecting our Google Drives if we have files there and you don't have them on a computer, or maybe you want to access them from your phone, since this is it can be a mobile. You can do this on your mobile phone. You can definitely connect your Google Drive if you have files in your Google Drive and make things a lot simpler for you. So it gives you a lot of versatile as far as how to navigate and connect a lot of projects within Google Drive and Claude. They work seamlessly together, and there's a lot more usage that you can get from this. So just, again, a little sneak peek as far as what other things are coming up. All right. So that is how you create the project. Let's put it to the test. Before we do that, I would definitely want to touch on something that I did miss on our last video. And that is, if you haven't noticed, and you may have, there is a little box right here, and you'll see, maybe for you, I'll say something else, and we'll go into that. This is the ability for Claude thinking program. It gives you the most updated, high capacity, deep search availability to run in the background or search the internet or give you the best answers possible. Really important that you see the adjacent word next to that. It says hi. That means that the usage of your Claude will be limited if you use such high level Claude task assistant, if you will. So for our purposes, we're going to go ahead and use a lower one, something that gives us quick answers. We're going to go with Haiku 4.5, and it gives you a little bit of a description of what it does for you. This one is going to give us our fastest for quick answers. If your project requires really, or you believe it to require the most toughest of challenges or the most complex of tasks, definitely choose the one that's appropriate to you. There's another mode where you can choose it automatically for you. I like to be in control of the ones that I want to use, so I usually tend to use the ones that are beneficial for me. For this purpose, we're going to use Haiku 4.5. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. So this is going to extend our life of our daily budget on how much we can use Claude. Super important to think about. So let's give it some specific instructions as far as what I want this project to start developing. So let's go ahead and come back here. And now we're going to go ahead and give it some instructions. This is the prompt that I'm going to give it today. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, copy, and we're going to go ahead and right click, paste. So I want to make a video. This is the prompt. I want to make a video about how AI can help someone plan their week. Give me a hook, a simple outline, and 3 clip ideas. Let's click enter. We're going to let it think about it, and it's going to generate exactly what we're asking it for. And that's it. Now it went back to the instructions that we gave it. It's going to go back to the files that we attached, and it's going to keep everything in relevance to what this project is about, which is my weekly planner. Okay, let's read over our answer here. This is the hook. Remember, we asked it to give us a hook back in our instructions. Remember? So remember, this is what we gave it. This is the instructions or the prompt that we gave it to generate. But within our instructions, we told it to give us a hook and to give us an outline. So it's listening to all those instructions that we had placed in it. So here we go. Spend 5 minutes with AI instead of 2 hours planning your week, and actually stick to it. That's the hook, right? So if I were to create a video, that's what I will start off with. The outline, and it gives you the time that you should be spending on that. The problem, 30 seconds, the AI system, 2 minutes, the results, 1 minute, and one actionable takeaway, which is about 30 seconds or so. So just an idea of what it's creating. It's giving you actionable steps to create this. Super important. I think it holds a lot of value, and I think not enough people are using this appropriately. Okay, so what is that I want you to do? after this video, you should know exactly what a project is, what it isn't, how you can create projects specifically to what your purpose is, what memories are, what instructions are, what files are, and what you can expect from the outcome. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that you finish this video and go play with it. Create your first project, create your first prompt, and make sure it's exactly how you want it to do. Give it the appropriate instructions, attach any files that you feel comfortable with, and see what it spits out to you. So if that's resonated with you, definitely build that project and watch everything that you have going on. Episode 3 is coming. We're going to be diving into co-work next. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification box for our next week's video on showing you again how to use Claude co-work, and it's definitely a game changer. Until then, we'll see you then. Peace.